Anselm's Monologium on the being of God.
Chapter 20. It exists in every place and at every time.
But although it has been concluded above that this creative nature exists everywhere and in all things and through all, and from the fact that it neither began nor will cease to be, it follows that it always has been and is and will be, yet I perceive a certain secret murmur of contradiction which compels me to inquire more carefully where and when that nature exists. The Supreme Being, then, exists either everywhere and always, or merely at some place and time, or nowhere and never, or, as I express it, either in every place and at every time, or finitely in some place and at some time, or in no place and at no time. But what can be more obviously contradictory than that what exists more really and supremely exists nowhere and never? It is therefore false that it exists nowhere and never. Again, since there is no good nor anything at all without it, if this being itself exists nowhere or never, then nowhere or never is there any good, and nowhere and never is there anything at all. But there is no need to state that this is false. Hence, the former proposition is also false, that being exists nowhere and never. It therefore exists finitely at some time and place, or everywhere and always. But if it exists finitely at some place or time, there and then only, where and when it exists, can anything exist. Where when it does not exist, moreover, there is no existence at all, because without it nothing exists. Whence it follows that there is some place and time where and when nothing at all exists. But seeing that this is false, for place and time themselves are existing things, the supreme nature cannot exist finitely at some place or time. But if it is said that it of itself exists finitely at some place and time, but that through its power it is wherever and whenever anything is, this is not true. For since it is manifest that its power is nothing else than itself, by no means does its power exist without it. Since, then, it does not exist finitely at some place or time, it must exist everywhere and always, that is, in every place and at every time.